So if you sign up later this evening, we got the undertaker can take care of you. We're gonna have a whole plethora of funny jokes going on, A to Z, foul to bovine. If we get as far as the cow jokes, it'll be utterly disgusting. So they get way worse than that. We'll have a 10-minute break, about 4 comedians in, and that doesn't mean you can leave. We're going to lock the doors. You're here for the evening. You got here all these people. You're going to get your money's worth. All right, so first up is me. So my background, I'm three-quarter Pennsylvania Dutch. So I'm three-quarter pretty dull. So I'm really big into diversity and inclusion because of that. So I seek out diversity and include most of what I find in my diet. All the great food and stuff that you find in other people's existence that I didn't have in my mashed potatoes and boiled water existence growing up. But because I've tried to practice some Amish jokes to start off with, but my delivery is still a little wooden. But if you need a barn by noon tomorrow, I know a guy. So to get this diversity going, travel is a great way to discover other things that you haven't seen in your life. So way earlier, last century in my life, I was in Spain. I studied in Spain, and one night, we were pretty early in our existence there, we went to a restaurant, and one of the people I was with wanted her food without preservatives. And we Americans, you put an A on the end of the word, and suddenly you have a Spanish word, hopefully. So she was going that route. She said, "Quiero mi comida sin preservativas," which sounds good, but she didn't want her food with preservatives.
Right.
As many restaurants put that in there for taste, she didn't want that. So and there was an argument back and forth, I swear we don't, yes we do, no we don't. Finally, some diner next to us leaned in after probably laughing too long, said, "You're using a word that exists in Spanish, but you're actually asking for your food without condoms." So those turned out to be real mushrooms on the pizza, not what we thought. So in Spain, we get visitors from other friends of ours who come down that were studying in other countries. And this one group comes down, and I take them to a typical bar serving tapas in Spain. And we serve them very typical Spanish things, one of which was this dish called criadillas, which are, it's also called the bullfight special. They're the balls of the bull. So we serve them, it is what it is. Not as bad as it seemed, but the next group came down, we took them to the same place, because it was an exotic experience, except this time, the criadillas were smaller. So I was curious, so I asked the staff, I said, "Camarero, why are they smaller this time?" He said, "Well, sometimes the bull wins." So back in my voyage of discovery to find something diverse away from my Pennsylvania Dutch background, we were on a ferry in Canada last year, and on there, it's a little disturbing, but there was this map of shipwrecks on the wall of the ferry, and one of the shipwrecks was this cargo ship destined for Ottawa, the other side of this lake we were on, and it had paint, red and black paint, for the Ottawa football team, which is the Red Blacks. So this ship was on the way there, and it foundered on the rocks, and the whole crew was marooned. All right, back to my travels. Let's see what this is for a moment. What this is for. So traveling again. So part of that ferry, we were in Canada. We had to come back in the United States. We came back in through Michigan. So Michigan, we all kinds of interesting places. We stopped at Sault Ste. Marie, Mackinac Island, Traverse City, and then down to Dearborn. Now, Michigan, Michigan's not the only state you can use your hand to demonstrate the state. There's also New Jersey. Okay. I'm glad she finished because I'm glad she finished because I was thinking of another joke in my head, trying to script it up. I'm glad she finished because they weren't going anywhere that I should have gone. Judging from her accent, she's from a little further north of here in the deeper south. This summer after the Michigan trip, we went down to eastern Kentucky. Beautiful area, it's kind of undiscovered still, and it's a lot of limestone things going on. So Carol and my wife and I are walking in the woods on this trail, and we come across this hole. It's like really, really deep, deep hole. You can't even see the bottom, so we threw a rock down there like you're supposed to, and we never heard it hit the bottom or anybody that's standing down there. So there's this anvil, this iron anvil, right there. Hey, let's drag that over there. So we throw it in the hole. And it's going down, and we hear this, it's this goat running as fast as it can, faster than it can, bam, right in the hole. Like, oh, that was weird. And then this fellow comes up, this farmer-looking guy comes up and said, have you seen my goat? I left it here tied to the anvil. Wow, I told you she was good. And I told you you'd see some funny stuff tonight, right? So, now she mentioned tour of duty. That's a great segue into this next little bit I'm going to do, and the one after that, and probably the one after that, tour of duty. So, anybody been to Mexico? All right, Mexico. The history of Mexico has this fellow named Montezuma, and he has this whole revenge thing going on, right? Right? And tour of duty. So his revenge is he can inflict diarrhea on anybody who wants. That's like level C, Marvel superhero, right? Pretty far down the list. So imagine, if you will, Montezuma. He's in the Plaza de the Sun in Mexico City there, talking to the people as the conquistadores are arriving. He's telling them, they may kill me, they may kill all of you, they may destroy our civilization, but we will have our revenge. The crowd goes wild, they're cheering, and they shout simultaneously, what is our revenge? I will give them diarrhea. And the crowd squeaks out, what? I thought you said diarrhea. That's not where this joke is going, and the three after this. So he said, yes, I did, but I'll give it to them while they're on vacation. The notorious BTD. So these descendants of Montezuma had to flee. And they had to flee to faraway places. Some of them fled as far away as what became the United States. As far away as Pennsylvania. In fact, they started a small little chocolate company there named Hershey's. All right, so these three kids are running by, they're screaming. They run by me and I stop them. I say, what's up? The Viper is coming, they scream. The Viper, he's coming. I go, what's the Viper? So this old man starts to approach. I can see him, and he's holding over his head what looks like toilet paper. And he's yelling, he himself is yelling too. He says, does anybody need a fight? So after all this Montezuma revenge stuff, he needs to fire our guy, right? So what better than a 239 bean Irish stew? Does anybody know why there's only 239 beans in the Irish stew?
I don't.
Well, one more bean makes you too farty. All right, there's good news. The Imodium has kicked in already, so no more jokes about it. We'll just flush that away. We'll wipe that from our memory. All right, so last time I told you about these crows I saw dead in the road and they were dead because crows only know one word for vehicle.
Yeah.
Car! truck that had it. So I went back and investigated and read up on it, and it turns out the truck, the driver, he hits the birds fly over, flip over the car, and they hit this police car that's behind him, right in the windshield. Gush. And whoop, the lights go on. Pulls the guy over, and the driver says, "What are you pulling me over for, officer?" "Well, you flipped me the bird." That would work well because there's a lot of old crows here. So. And I'm working toward that. So, yeah. All right. So. Anybody else need a fan? So last year I told you something incorrect. A group of crows, I told you a group of crows is called a murder.
Yeah.
Well, it's not totally true, so I apologize. It's only murder if there's probable cause. Go back to the other crows. I'm still trying to process some of that. Were those your feet on the thing? That's pretty amazing. All right, so before the invention of crowbars, crows had to drink alone. We have one more. It's a reprise, so he'll be in a moment, Barry. While he's coming up, what do you call two crows? We're back to crows again. Two crows that stick together with thick and thin. Velcros. Where's that fan? All right, so Barry had to walk that cow home. And he took a shortcut which required the cow jumping over this fence. But it was utter disaster. The jump ripped the tail off the cow. So when they got home, the family had to sell it wholesale because they couldn't retail it. All right. Before I can tell another, that is it for the evening. But can you give us a hand, this guy first? So all of the performers, who doesn't stand up? All the performers stand up and take it out. Gary, Marge. Now the other hand we need is, when you stand up, can you move your chairs to the side because we're going to roll the tables back? And sad news is a church service tomorrow morning. But it's going to be a good one, so show up again. Because Carolyn will be playing the piano, the choir will be up here. And Kathy Porter will be speaking tomorrow. So, all right, so thank you all very much. We've had a great time. Once again. And the doors are unlocked now.